Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to break down 3 principles of stand-up comedy. I'm going to talk about relatable material, why it's so important you perform it. We're going to talk about structuring your set correctly, and we are going to finish with talking about editing your set as you progress as a stand-up comedian. And what I'm promoting on all of these videos is if you like my channel, if you like the way I communicate and what I am talking about, I am offering critique services for my viewers, which means if you send in your footage, I will send you back a 30 to 40 minute video critiquing the best things you are doing, and it will really benefit you as a comedian. If you want to know more about that service and you want to be able to support the channel, the information is in the description box. Thank you to everyone who has chosen to have that service so far. It's been a lot of fun. It's taken up most of my time now outside of doing these YouTube videos. So let's dive into the theory for today. First of all, we need to create relatable material on stage. Usually that's kind of obvious to people, but of course I need to relate to my audience. But so many new comedians especially are getting on stage and they're talking about the most extreme things they've been through or the most extreme opinions they have, and they lose the audience because they think if they shock the audience or they go so far away removed from normality that makes them interesting. And it kind of doesn't. What makes you interesting is figuring out how you see normal things differently. You don't want to completely lose the audience straight out the gate. So what I would urge everyone starting out to do is to find out all of the relatable things that you do in your day-to-day life, such as work, your relationships, the family you have, just the day-to-day kind of way you live. How do you perceive those things as opposed to other people? What can you make fun of? What can you tell funny stories about? What meanings can you turn around using just everyday scenarios? So what you're going to do is write down a list of all the ways in which you can relate to the audience in front of you. Everybody in the room either has a job or wants to get a job. Everybody wants to be going out with somebody. They're either single or they are going out with somebody. All of these is safe topics, always going to be interesting and always going to connect with the audience much quicker than your opinion on politics or religion or something further removed from everyday scenarios. Your opinion on pop culture is going to hit harder than your opinion on politics, but they're both outside there. People care more about your connection to real world scenarios that you live day to day, and they need you to make fun of it up there. That's kind of the deal they have with you as a comedian. If you can make fun of the things you have to go through day in, day out, then they live through you and everything in the world is okay for a brief period of time. We're trying to make them feel good. We don't need to win them over with our opinion on something. Instead, write down what it is you put up with day in, day out and make fun of it. Turn it around on its head, make humorous of the jobs you do, of the relationship you're in, of the type of friends you have. These are all really safe areas for stand-up comedy, especially at the beginning. And once you get these working and make these very funny and entertain the audience and you get consistent laughs, then you can start putting in very small sections of further away topics, your opinions on social issues, on politics, and that kind of thing, if you feel you must. But the comedian that sticks to the basics is always going to perform consistently well, and the basics is what everybody goes through day in, day out. Next, you need to structure it correctly. Now, the basic structure of, let's say, for example, a 5-minute set. You want to start at the very top of the show. You want to start with some material about the room you're in. I've said it 100 times on this channel. It's the number one way in which you're going to open up a successful performance. Always make fun of something you notice in the room. It could be a sign. It could be a door that no one knows where it goes to. It could be a curtain behind you. What could be behind the curtain? It could be a TV on the wall or anything at all. What you do before you get on stage is you simply jot down on a little piece of paper something you've noticed about the room. And it needs to be very obvious for everybody in the room. So as soon as you say it, it's going to get a little laugh. And that is huge for your confidence boost, because you've got a laugh of something very silly that you've observed in the room and you haven't sacrificed any of your material. So it's just really good feeling, and it gets everyone feeling together. It gets everyone feeling connected because you've made fun of something that's happening in that environment. And then you structure your set so that you open up with information directly about yourself, how people perceive you based on your looks. That's going to be a really easy way to open up to the audience. And then from there, you go a little further removed and start to talk about what topics you would like to cover. For example, you could talk about your work, you could talk about your relationships with your friends or with your partner, or you could talk about, your growing up, all of these kind of areas that you have in common with everyone else, or you don't have in common with everyone else, but they're all safe grounds for comedy. So we start by talking about the room, then we talk immediately about the first perception people have on ourselves, and then we talk about what it is we do for either work or the relationships. And that's the structure, and that's all there is to it. We don't need to have anything after that. We don't just keep it about ourselves, because you're the person up on stage. They only care about you for the 5 or 10 minutes or whatever you're on stage. So just keep it really basic, and you don't need to prove a point. You don't need to win them over with an idea. Certainly not yet. Get good at comedy, get good at talking in front of an audience first, and then if that's what you want to do down the road, be a more politically minded comedian or whatever, then that's fine. Do it down the road. But at the beginning, that's the structure you stick with. So when it comes to your writing, always keep that in mind. Make fun of the room, not put the night down, but just make a humorous observation about the room, get a little laugh, and then go into talking about yourself. How you are perceived by others is always a good angle, because they are judging you as soon as you walk on stage. So if you're honest about how you come across to people, then that's always going to be funny. And then go a little bit further removed, but still keeping it to yourself, still keeping the energy in the room, and talk about things that you have in common with them. Relationship, work, and hobbies. Can't go wrong. And finally, we need to continuously practice this, which means you're continuously writing new ideas. Now, people say there is a great saying that that finished is better than perfect. And I agree. Finished means you go up on stage and you actually do the material in front of people. So when I say we need to refine and continuously edit our set, I don't mean you hold off or you sacrifice the next gig because this particular joke isn't ready. It's not funny enough. That doesn't matter. Being funny on stage at the very beginning of a career at open mics isn't all that important. What you need to do is get the number of times you get up on stage behind you. Some people need to get to 20 performances before they start to be a little bit funny. Some people need to get to 50. Some people need to get to 100. Different for everyone. But if you continue to focus on the future, get better, a little bit better each time you go up, and not worry about being the funniest in the room. Of course, that's the goal later on, but we're taking baby steps in order to get there. So we need to understand that this is going to be a long process before we're able to get into a venue and be funny. And we know we can walk in with confidence knowing that 80% or 85% of our material is going to connect with 85% of the people in the room. And that's going to get those huge laughs consistently, because that's the best you can hope for. You're not going to win over 100% of the room. In your best ever performance, there's always going to be someone who thinks you're a prick. So that's fine. Work on winning over as many as you can, and how we're going to do that is stick with the basics I've given you in this video. And I cannot stress enough, the most important thing you have is number 3. It's to continuously perform on stage as often as you can, record your set, watch it back, and edit little jokes here and there. Is there a little bit too much information in one section of your material where there's not a laugh where there could be a laugh? Do you need to take that information out, or can you make a punchline in that material where there wasn't one before? All these little questions you start to ask yourself. And with the videos I have on this channel, there's plenty on writing comedy, and there's going to be a lot more coming very, very soon. But these are the kind of little changes we make in order to make that set go over with an audience even better every single time. Okay, I hope this video was beneficial to you. Go get running, go get performing, and I'll see you in the next one.